have news on another top WWE contract that is set to expire, and what's next for major free agent Bill Goldberg. But first, Chris Jericho would get social media talking this week when he took to Instagram to share an image of himself with the caption, "You wanna fuck around." However, it wasn't the caption of the image that sparked debate, it was the location that it was sent from. As you can see at the top, the location of the post is Chicago, Illinois, with many speculating if Le Champion was in town for the reported meeting with CM Punk in order to smooth things over ahead of the latter's return to All Elite Wrestling. Well, after doing some digging, I can confirm that this likely isn't the case, as if you take a look at the website of Jericho's band Fozzy, at the time the image was posted, he was on the East Coast finishing off their spring tour. It's also worth noting that you can select a location when posting on Instagram, meaning it's not always where you actually are at the time, with Jericho 100% trolling with this one. Further to this, Dave Meltzer reported on Jericho's Wrestling Observer Daily Update that as of last night, the scheduled meeting involving Chris Jericho, CM Punk, FTR and Tony Khan has not taken place yet, confirming what I already suspected based on the Fozzy tour dates. It's worth noting, however, that last night's April 17 show in Virginia Beach was the last stop of their spring tour, with there being no shows until May 4th, so you'd expect the meeting to be scheduled sometime before now and then. Last night, WWE would host the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, where 2 matches were confirmed for the upcoming Backlash pay-per-view. The first announcement would reveal that the Usos and Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline will team up in 6-man tag action, with them set to take on Matt Riddle and the new undisputed tag team champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It was also announced that the Usos will get their rematch against the tag champs on April 28th, this on an episode of SmackDown, their first shot since losing the belts at WrestleMania in the main event of Night 1. The clash between Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar was also made official, with them set to meet at Backlash in singles action, this following Rhodes' challenge to the Beast last week on Raw. Last night's show would see Cody call out Brock once again, only for him to appear on the entranceway, with security stopping Cody from getting his hand on his upcoming opponent. WWE Backlash is scheduled to take place on Saturday, May 6, with the show going down in San Juan, Puerto Rico, the first WWE pay-per-view to air from the island since January 2005. This weekend, IWGP Women's Champion Mercedes Moné puts her title on the line against the Idol Mayu Iwatani, this at Stardom's biggest show to date, All-Star Grand Queendom, on Sunday, April 23 at the Yokohama Arena. Another champion that's scheduled to appear on the show, this time in the main event, is Julia, who defends her World of Stardom Championship against Tam Nakano that same night. Julia would speak with Tokyo Sport ahead of the Huge Dome show, with her issuing a challenge to Mercedes should the 2 women leave with their belts this Sunday, proposing that they meet in a double title match for the IWGP and Stardom Red Belt. With that said, it looks like the challenge has been accepted, with Moné taking to Twitter to say, "Double titles equals double the Moné. Oh, and Julia, this is my country now, bitch. Hashtag the CEO." Whilst the match is far from official at this point, Mercedes did offer to speak with the relevant authorities to get Julia verified on Twitter so she can actually find her handle when posting this out of the kindness of her heart. And speaking of Mercedes Moné, Julia isn't the only one that wants to share a ring with the CEO, with AEW's Saraya revealing this week that she wants a full circle moment with the former Sasha Banks. Speaking with Uproxx this week, Saraya would discuss her excitement for AEW's upcoming All In event, which takes place in the legendary Wembley Stadium in her home nation of England, with her noting, "I haven't performed in the UK in years, and then to be on one of the biggest stages you can get over there, Wembley Stadium, is just a very wild opportunity. It does have that WrestleMania 1 vibe where this is something really special. I feel so fortunate that I get to be a part of history." Saraya would then reveal who she'd want to wrestle on the show, naming the current champions of AEW and New Japan, and she would say, "I would love to face Jamie Hayter, that would be amazing because she's also from the UK. I've had the opportunity to be in a tag and triple threat, but not a singles match, and I would love that opportunity. Do we open that forbidden door? Mercedes Moné, I would love to face her there. That would be such a full circle moment, there's so much opportunity there." Saraya and Mercedes of course have a history in between the ropes, with it being an accidental kick to the back of the neck from the then Sasha Banks that led to the early retirement for the former Paige. This could be something that the two real-life friends use as part of their storyline heading into a potential matchup at Wembley. Lucha Libre AAA would hold their first Triple Mania event of the year this past weekend, a show that was headlined by the ever-popular El Hijo del Vikingo. At the event, he would put his AAA Mega Championship on the line against AAA's Commander, AEW's Swerve Strickland, and Impact Wrestling's Rich Swann, with him ultimately retaining. Not only was there titles on the line, but there was also masks on the line, as earlier in the night, following a loss to Mysticis Jr., Argonis was forced to unmask in front of the Monterrey crowd. The first round of a unique tournament was also held, where the losers advanced through to the next round instead of the winners, with there being a mask versus hair match waiting at the end. Psycho Clown and Sam Adonis would be the first to fall through the net to the next round after their tag loss to Alberto El Patron and Pentagon Jr., with Rush and LA Park also sliding closer to the final. The semi-finals of the tournament that I couldn't possibly begin to pronounce will take place at Triple Mania Tijuana on July 15, with the losers of the LA Park and Rush versus Psycho Clown and Sam Adonis tag match meeting in a mask versus hair bout at Triple Mania Mexico City on August 12. Ahead of last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, Becky Lynch would announce on Twitter that she would not be attending the show, this whilst blacking out her profile, leading to speculation on her future in the company. Well, according to a new report from Fightful Select, despite the fact that Becky was originally slated to appear at the event, sources within WWE have indicated that there are no known issues between the wrestler and the organization, and instead, it appears that Lynch is dealing with a minor foot injury which has been bothering her as of late. With that said, they would provide some details on what they were told regarding her contract status with the company, and said, with Lynch dropping her verification badge and changing her display name to her real name, Rebecca Quinn, many inquiries were made to Fightful about her current status with WWE. We're told that Lynch signed a brand new deal upon returning to the company in 2021, and her time off for maternity leave is not a factor. Lynch signed a 3-year deal that currently expires in June 2024. Thus far, WWE sources tell us that the two have not entered negotiations for a new deal. There are several deals that are up in 2024, as WWE had signed much of the roster to 4-year contracts then. At the time, WWE was signing and extending talent way before their expiration. The report concluded by noting that Lynch has made connections within Hollywood and was slated to appear at the end of a Marvel movie at one point, with an expansion of her movie career perhaps an option going forward. It was also revealed that she is currently represented by CAA, who were described as a gigantic agency who will lead talks over her future when the time comes. One of the most known free agents on the market today is Bill Goldberg, whose WWE contract would end at the end of 2022, leaving him free to sign with another wrestling promotion. Since the news broke, rumors have been swirling over what the future could hold for the former WCW World and WWE Universal Champion, with fans wondering if he'll show up in WWE for one last match, or maybe even in AEW, with Tony Khan being a known admirer of the Hall of Famer. Speaking with 93.7 The Ticket this week, Bill would detail his WWE exit and scrapped plans for a retirement match before discussing what could be next, and Goldberg would say, "I'll stop the rumor mill right now. The reason the rumors are out there is because Vince McMahon and I had a handshake understanding that after the Roman Reigns match that I would have a proper retirement match, and that hasn't come to fruition through them, and therefore nobody puts a stamp on my career. Nobody tells me when I'm done, period, end of story. When somebody tells me that, I kind of like to fight against it. I like to do things my own way, I go out my own way, and I certainly don't go out under Roman Reigns 3 weeks after I had COVID-19 and agreed to do a match." Regarding his future, Goldberg is considering promoting his own retirement tour across the world, which would leave the end of his career in his own hands, and he would say, "If I go on a world tour and promote it myself, that's a possibility. Hey, I'm a businessman, and I'm fortunately, in the position I firmly believe to where I can still make it happen. At the end of the day, like I said, I do believe that my character deserves a proper send-off. Until that happens, man, I don't believe I'm hanging them up, Anything and everything is an option. I'm very much leaning towards promoting it myself and doing a 4-city world tour, so let the rumor mill start up after that." According to Fightful Select, there has been an offer from Israel for Goldberg to work a match there, meaning that this could be one of the locations of his tour, but whether Wembley Stadium with AEW or Saudi Arabia with WWE makes that list remains to be seen. And before you go, make sure you check out the truth behind CM Punk's secret wrestling returns before AEW.